Greetings, I'm Dan, K89 MSP, with another episode of Parks on the Air, POTA, and a puppy. Well, maybe it's not another episode, it's actually the first one. I brought Ginger out here with me. She's been coming out with me on different POTA adventures just to get her out of the house. She likes coming out here. Today we're at the Ice Age National Scenic Trail, which is US 4238. I'd like to just show you a little bit of options for power. We talk about batteries a lot, and today we're going to be talking about the EcoFlow Pro River 2 and the accompanying solar panel. So stick around. And also, if you stick around, at the end of the video I'm going to show you the pack that I've been carrying with me with all my ham radio stuff in it. We'll talk to you then. See you in a minute. Solar generator. They call it a generator, but I don't call it a generator. It's not really generating any electricity, it's storing electricity. It's got a 768 amp hour battery in it, and you could charge this unit with 110 volts. You can charge it with the accompanying solar panels here, and I also used it with a little bit smaller Bioenno panel solar charger, so that's also an option. Today we're going to be setting it up. I'll take you through that real quick. We're going to be using the ASU FT710 for an activation while we're out at this Ice Age Trail Park here. And the big thing I want to see is this thing going to make noise hooked up to solar? I want to know how noisy it is. If there's going to be any RF interference with the radio, things like that. But it's got 110 volt jacks, it's got USB jacks, it's got a 12 volt battery jack, and it has other jacks on here where you can power different things. It just seems we can't ever go out at a park nowadays and just use one battery. I've been using the Bioenno 12 amp hour battery, which does great for the 710 and also the 891 that I've been using for years out here. But it's just good to have something extra now. And with 768 amp hours, that's a lot of energy that you can use. The other thing about it is that you can power all the other devices with it. And I realize this is not a real light option. I think it weighs about 17 pounds. And if you're backpacking in, now you probably don't want to haul that in. But I don't really backpack in anywhere. I just sit in the park somewhere. I usually have the truck. I can use truck power also. I just don't backpack in, so this is a great option. I'll show you in a little bit. I'll set up a chameleon antenna Delta V, and we'll get on the air here and see what happens. Okay, so I got the panel set up over here, generating power. into the storage unit, the EcoFlow Pro River 2. These panels, it's a 220 watt panel, and it's a bifacial panel. So what happens is, because of this reflective screen in the front here, you probably thought I was setting up the magic carpet, but not today. It gets reflected light from behind and does add to the system. It gets most of the light from the front for generating 170 watts that we're getting out of the 220 that's capable of right now, but it'll help. Talk to you in a minute. We're going to set up the antenna and the radio. So about ready to wrap things up here today with, 20 some contacts. Just thought I'd take you through and show you the setup that I got going on over here. Pickup truck, there's the EcoFlow battery setup, solar panels, and back over here was the Chameleon CHA Delta loop all set up. I did that because I just didn't feel like fiddling with adjusting antennas for different bands today, and it worked okay. Conditions, according to like QRZ, were poor, but I still came up with enough to activate everything here. And then I'll talk about the unbiased opinion on the EcoFlow here. Great unit. One little thing that happened though, I was going to be talking about if we had any problems with RF and causing noise and all that stuff, and there was none of that. Radio worked good until I keyed it up. What I did is I had the radio plugged into the 12-volt cigarette lighter here, and apparently that is not good for the amperage that my FT710 takes. Now maybe a smaller radio it would, but every time I'd key the mic up, and I was at about 90 some watts for an output, it would dump the radio. So I think it's the inrush of the amperage rating that it just couldn't handle it. So there are workarounds for that I'm thinking. You could plug a 12-volt DC converter into the 110 outlets, and I'm sure that'll work. One other note for this unit, which makes me a really big fan of it, it has a pure sine wave inverter inside of it for everything. So when you check into the specs, check into that. It's a pure sine wave rather than a modified sine wave. Modifieds are okay, but they just don't like electronics. And I'm going to just pack things up here a little bit, then I'm stay tuned, and I'm going to talk about what I got going on here in my bag. We'll be right back. So just wrapping things up today. Dog's getting hot. I can't take this heat. I'm soaked through. It was a good day though. Had to test out a few things here and it worked good. And thanks for sticking around, because at the end of the video, I promised you that I'd show you what I got going in with my go bag here for, I don't know if you'd really call it a go bag. It's a bag for activations and everything. And I have a lot of antenna things inside here. I'll bring it up so you can see it. Different coaxes, soda beam, fiberglass, different antenna systems here, radio systems, all kinds of different things. And like I've said before, if I don't do any remote activations, so I know the weight isn't going to really be an issue for me when I carry about all this stuff. But what I do like having all this stuff with me is the fact that I can take it out, and if I got problems with something, I can always make something work. Something in here will work, from something simple to just sticking the 17-foot whip on the front of the truck. I do have another video on that talking. It's entitled, "Did This Antenna Ruin POTA for Me?" So check that video out. It works. We did a 10-part rove doing that one time. Made PVC tubes for sticking all this stuff in. I just don't want the different threads and the different elements to get all smacked up and wrecked. Places for coax to go in. Places for coils to go in as well. I've had this set up for about a year now. It's been working good. Closes up fairly good for hauling around. What this is, it's a double rifle case if you were to haul a rifle around. So it'll pack right up, something like that. You can carry it if it's not hooked on things. There's other things I have up here. Throw line for throwing antennas up into the trees. Small tripod that you can set up with your antennas. That's all set up for the different 3/8 inch threads for the antennas. And of course, the Faraday cloth ground plane. That works good. I do like it. Well, as I wrap up, I'm going to pull out of here. Thanks for sticking by. The main idea was the EcoFlow here. Still a great unit for hauling out into the camping area or out to the POTA site for charging whatever else you got to charge. It just couldn't handle the inrush of the radio. And I'll try different workarounds for that, whether it be just hooking up a 110 volt power supply onto here for the radio. We'll see what happens. But it's still handy to have for a lot of different things. Until I talk to you again, have a great summer. This is 89 MSP, the Northwoods guy. Take care, and 73.